The first move to start the downswing. I know I'm going to ask you a question right now. You're not happy with the way you're starting the downswing. It feels snatchy, it feels steep, and it feels as though these arms are pulling this club down, doing all the work for you. I want us to work this in reverse, and I want you to work it through that this does all the work. Well, you're going to say, well, Alex, I've heard that before. I know how to do it. Well, I've got a drill that's going to really help you. One thing I'm going to say is, it's going to require you to really use your imagination with this. Use your imagination. So what is the move? The move I want you to feel is that your hands don't move at all to start your downswing. Yep, you heard me right. What I want you to feel is your hands only move as a result of everything else moving. So at no point in there was I feeling I was moving these arms. So this is where your imagination comes in. I want you to imagine some really tall giant is holding, Josh is putting his hands up here saying he's the tall giant. Yeah mate, I'm small, you say it every single week on our Friday show, thanks. What I want you to imagine is some tall giant is holding your club head at the top of the backswing, and the only way you can release that is if everything else does it. Because if you think about it this way, if all this works, you're going to create a lot more torque and a lot more power than just pulling it out. So for you to pull it out of the giant's hands, we have to move it all in a sequence. So I just want to put an alignment stick through my belt buckle just to show you what this sequence is, because I think it gives you a better insight to how and why we do it this way. I'll try and do this nice and smooth without looking what I was doing. Here we go.
When you say giant, you mean just like an average sized person?
I'm not even commenting to that. That is terrible. Nothing wrong, still drive it longer than you. Hey, there we go, you got a bite, you got a bite. So, we're going to imagine, okay, the only way we can release this golf club from the giant's hands is having to move in a sequence. So I want you to think about this. We've got one alignment stick that would run through our G-lay here. We're going to imagine that. We're not going to have it in there. One's going to be running through here. One on our belt buckle. What I want you to feel is your lower half and your hip line is moving ahead of your shoulder line into this position. So now as I come into impact, my shoulders will be parallel to my ball to target line and my hips roughly 40 degrees open. I'm using round numbers. All I would say is, if you can get your hips open to your shoulders at impact, no matter your age or ability, you're going to hit the golf ball longer. You're going to create the X factor stretch, which is that way of creating speed in the golf swing. It's also going to help you control, hit it from the inside and control that club head through impact. None of this pull, none of this open in the face. This is a great way. So if you come round to the face on perspective, this is the move in slow motion. I want you to stand there, and by the way, build this part of your pre-shot routine. There is no problem at all with doing that. Build it to the top, lower half starts, upper half is starting to follow, and not once have I moved my hands. They've just moved as a result of everything else working in a sequence. So, going into a little bit more detail here, this alignment stick, number one is here, okay? Number 2 and number 3. We're trying to get it to work through that sequence, so when we get into impact, it's pointing at number 3 over here. So if number 1 on our line was pointing directly at our target, number 2 and number 3 was over here. There's a lot of imagination going on here today. There's a lot. So the only way we can release that club head from the giant's hands is to feel as though the lower half works, the upper half follows, and we move it in to impact. We're now ready to hit some shots away. And what I would do is I would definitely hit some shots with this alignment stick on. Make sure you move it through so you've not got anything really overhanging. It's going to be, well, we don't want you to hurt yourself. So you can stand there now. I would build it up to this point. So gear 1, feel it really slow. That golf ball might just go just off the tee. Gear 2 a little bit faster. Gear 3 a little bit faster. And gear 4 and 5. And don't worry, don't worry about this. If you get to gear 3 and you feel that that's your ceiling right now, respect that, work in that gear 3 and then work up to gear 4, and you might have to go to gear 4, back to gear 3, then back up to gear 5. It's okay. It's the time of year where we need to improve our golf swing. This is what we can do for this. So I'm going to hit this one away. I'm just going to go middle of the road in gear 3 because I feel that's my favourite gear to do this in, to get a good respect to what the movement is. So I really felt as though I moved in posture, my lower half started it, the hands were only released as a result of the lower body moving first, then the upper body, and then the arms moving. Use this sequence to start your downswing, and I promise you'll create some more speed with the big dog, with the irons. Who doesn't want to do that? Thanks so much for watching. I really did hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy all these videos, don't forget to join this team. Thank you so much for your support this year. We're getting close to the end of the year. Let's smash 2021 together. Let's work together to help improve your golf.